beautiful day. The 2021 National League Division Series on TBS is presented by Good Sam. And we welcome inside American Family Field as we get ready. A fired up crowd's ready for Game 2. It's Game 2 of the National League Division Series from Milwaukee. It's the Atlanta Braves matched up against the Milwaukee Brewers. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Jeff Francoeur, Matt Weiner in a bed. Well, Game 1 is come and gone, and guess what? Game 2's got another marquee pitching matchup. Can't say that all the time. But looking back on Game 1 for the Atlanta Braves, they were so good all year with runners in scoring position. Not so much in Game 1.
No, it's 10 where they do their best work, and they've kind of lived and died by the long ball. Well, yesterday, facing Corbin Burnes, they weren't able to do it. And right here in the first inning, as Brian Snitker said, probably the momentum changer with Rowdy Tellez on this great play to home plate. And then, of course, the big double play here. The Braves had a few chances, weren't able to do it. And, of course, Hader here gets the big outs in the ninth inning and closes out this game. Now, that being said, for the Braves today, you get a chance to turn the ball over to none other than Max Fried. And I know the Braves have to feel great when you got a guy like him who's got the best ERA in the National League in the second half. He's really been throwing like an ace. 2 complete game shutouts and a big curveball for Atlanta. He's exactly what they need to get a Game 2 win.
So it is the Milwaukee Brewers able to secure Game 1 of this series. You talk about their offense, and yesterday just the 2-run home run by Rowdy Tellez. That was the difference, but really it was their pitching that was the difference in Game 1.
Well, Craig Counsell told us today it really lined up perfect for his club yesterday. Corbin Burnes, who struggled the first 2 innings, all of a sudden came on for 4 strong innings, turned it over to Hauser for 2, which against that right-handed heavy lineup was perfect. And then you had Josh Hader, the best closer in baseball, gets his first save of this postseason. For them, they get to turn it over to an ace too, and Brandon Woodruff, 4th in the NL in ERA this season, has not gotten great run support, but has a huge fastball and a lot of postseason experience. They're going to lean heavy on him to get them deep into the game today and try to take a 2-0 lead.
It is Game 2 of the NLDS from Wisconsin. It's the Braves and the Brewers ready to go next on TBS.
Fair ball, throw to the plate. Soler is out there. Double play. Fly ball hit it out towards deep right center field. That ball is gone.
We play good all the way around. That's Brewers baseball.
I feel good going in Game 2. I got Max Fried pitching.
Swing and a miss.
They're pumped up for Game 2.
It's a ball, strike 3.
We'll be ready to win a ball game.
Hey, Don, you know, the Braves infield has been an amazingly productive constant all season long, but an outfield transformation has as much to do with them being in the postseason as anything on this team. Their opening day lineup included left fielder Marcell Ozuna, who they'd re-signed to a big free agent contract in the offseason. Center field was prospect Christian Pache and young superstar Ronald Acuna Jr. in right. Pache didn't hit, he was demoted. In May, police arrested Ozuna after an alleged domestic assault. He's been on administrative leave and away from the team since. The Braves then lost Acuna Jr. for the rest of the season in July when he tore his right ACL. So President of Baseball Operations Alex Anthopoulos went to work. He acquired Jock Peterson from the Cubs. Then at the trade deadline, Eddie Rosario from Cleveland. He reacquired Adam Duvall from the Marlins and picked up Jorge Soler from Kansas City. And talk about making lemonade. Since the trade deadline, the Braves have had more homers and more RBIs from their outfielders than any other National League team, and they'll need more of that in this series.
No doubt about that as we get ready for this Game 2. And the Atlanta Braves, the starting lineup for the Braves coming into Game 2 is brought to you by Hankook Tire. Jorge Soler's at the top of the order. He's in right field with Freddie Freeman back at first base. Ozzie Albies at second. Austin Riley's at third with Adam Duvall in his second stint in a Braves uniform in center field. Eddie Rosario is in left. Travis d'Arnaud has got lots of postseason experience. And Dansby Swanson's at short with Max Fried batting out of the ninth spot. Brandon Woodruff on the hill for the Brewers.
Oh, another big arm. The Brewers are throwing at this Braves team. 3 career starts against Atlanta, 1-1 with the 2-7. Like Burnes yesterday, big fastball, good curveball. As you see here, he's going to come at you hard with that 4-seamer sinker. Kind of throw it, let it do its action. And then the curveball, he gets 45 Ks out of his 211 on that pitch. And like Burns yesterday, only 43 walks. And for him today behind the plate, the better of the two defensive catchers, Manny Pena, will behind the plate for Brandon Woodruff in this game 2 against the lefty Fried going around. Urias gets the start at third today. Adames Wong. Escobar moves from third to first. Not much experience at first in the outfield, the same as yesterday in Yelich, Kane, and Garcia. And Counsell told us, Don, before the game that Escobar has gotten better at first as the year's gone on. Maybe not as good as Rowdy is and the rest of the guys they've had, but has said has made strides.
Escobar, of course, coming up to the big leagues as a middle infielder, has played second, short, third a lot in his veteran career, but now finding himself at first base in the postseason and for the Milwaukee Brewers. Here we go. It's game 2 from Milwaukee. This crowd was electric yesterday, and this roof is open for game 2. First pitch of game 2 is a swing and a miss for Jorge Soler. We're underway.
Right out of the chute, 98 miles per hour.
Challenge time. And the power of Soler, 27 home runs, 70 runs batted in between Kansas City and Atlanta. The third version of this outfield for the Braves this year. The first inning has been problematic for Woodruff, as good as he has been this year. First inning's been tough. 3.90 ERA, 13 runs. It's the most of any inning. And he's given up 5 home runs. That's the most of any inning. So this first is huge. I'm quite sure the Braves know.
Yeah, and look, Jorge Soler yesterday probably had the best ABs out of most of those Braves hitters. Drew a walk to start the game and took Kane all the way to the center field wall with his second at bat.
See him stacked up on the left side defensively for the Brewers. Wong, Adames, and Urias. Popped up, foul ground. That'll get back and out of play. Woodruff was the opening day starter for the Brewers, as we mentioned, just no run support, just 2.5 a game, and as a result, with his nifty 2.56 ERA, his individual record 9-10 in 30 regular season starts. Just could not help him out offensively. 2-2 in the air to right field. Garcia wandering in is under and makes the catch for out number 1.
Yeah, kind of reminds you of a couple years ago when Jacob deGrom won the Cy Young. NL Cy Young, remember, he was right at like a 500 record. He just didn't get a lot of run support, but look, these Atlanta Braves hitters have a lot of respect for Woodruff and know exactly what he can do.
That's, wins and losses have become less important when you're talking about the Cy Young as a result.
Exactly.
There's Freddie Freeman. Bats in the 2 spot for the Braves. Finished the year at an even 300. We had the chance to talk with him prior to the game onto the field, and he thinks today is going to be a lot like yesterday as far as the runs hard to come by in this series.
Well, you look at the 2 starters going today, and it is very similar to yesterday. And I think these hitters know it. I mean, we had a chance to talk to a lot of the Milwaukee Brewers hitters talking about Morton and how good he was. And they said he's probably the best, almost maybe the best guy we faced all year stuff-wise. And they said the same thing with Max Fried today. So you get the feeling as this game goes again, it might be a big hit or two that is the difference.
And for the Brewers, the fact that they came away with a win, having said that was the best guy they faced this year, was pretty impressive. They eked out the 2-1 victory in game 1 of this series. Tellez with the pinch hit 2-run home run. He's available to do the same thing today. Greg Counsell is certainly hoping he can. Did not put him in the starting lineup. Some wondered whether he would be in there as a result of what he was able to do. Balls and a strike to Freddie Freeman with 1 out. Charlie Morton was very impressive.
He did everything they asked him to do, just like you said. Rowdy made him pay on 1 pitch.
Full count.
See Freddie Freeman expand too much. He might have on that 3-1 pitch But got good sinking action from Woodruff. Freddie 3 for 9 with a homer in his career off Woodruff.
One of the hardest players to strike out in baseball. 15.4% K rate. This one fouled back to the screen. 98. He gets a piece. Not easy to put Freddie Freeman away.
Well, a little bit like Morton yesterday. Woodruff's fastball, he's got the four-seamer like you just saw there, and then the pitch before that has a nice run to it and goes down. So it's not easy as a hitter.
So Craig Counsell seemed a little bit more relaxed today than he was yesterday.
Would you?
Yeah, I guess I would. Taking game one. Up and in, and Freeman will take the walk. A 1-out base on balls. It's one thing that the Braves are not known for. That is patience at the plate, but really having to show it here, especially in the first inning against Woodruff.
Yeah, and that's one guy in this Braves lineup, Freddie Freeman, that he is one of the most aggressive hitters on the first pitch, but if he doesn't make contact or put in play, he's really good at working the count back in his favor.
1 out, 1 on. Ozzie Albies bats out of the 3 spot. Finished the year with 30 home runs, 106 runs batted in. Very quiet first game for him of this NLDS.
Really, he had the at-bat that changed a lot of that momentum, and I thought it was interesting talking to both Craig Counsell and Brian Snitker today, saying that first inning double play to first base really kind of changed and shifted that whole thing. Brian Snitker was saying, I thought we'd get a run or two and at least get the lead.
Shift on him on the right side. That fastball's by him. Up and in at 96. Switch hitting second baseman for the Atlanta Braves. An all-star first in 2018. Since then, played the most games, 503. It's a fly ball towards foul ground. Long run and over to make the catch. Thomas, the shortstop, all the way over to the tarp area. Looked like he had no chance. Throws the glove out, makes the grab. Some kind of play by Willie Adames in foul ground.
Wow. Running full speed over the tarp. Look at this. Just throws his glove out. What a play. Had to go a long ways for that too, being in the shift.
Back to the plate, turned around over the shoulder for out number 2 of this first inning. Brings up Austin Riley. They'll shift on him as well on the left side of the infield. Strike one.
Yeah, second game in a row now that in the first inning someone has made a really nice defensive play on Ozzie Albies.
Thomas still smiling about it. Boy, did he go a long way to get that. Frustrated Albies. The 2 down here in the Braves first inning. Strike 2.
Corbin Burns yesterday did a great job to Austin Riley of painting that corner. They lived away. He got the hit off Josh Hader in the 9th, which was out and over the plate for him. But they are living away to Austin Riley.
Riley finished the year at 303 with 33 round trippers. Waiting on an 0-2 pitch. Strike 3. Woodruff has a very good first. Picks up the K to end the top of the first inning. Braves don't score. The Brewers are coming up. Lineup brought to you by Hankook Tire, and it's Colton Wong at the top of the order at second base. Willie Adames at short. Eduardo Escobar, the veteran, at first. Abasiel Garcia in right. Christian Yelich in left, Luis Urias at third, Lorenzo Cain in center, and Pena does the catching today. Did not play yesterday, and Brandon Woodruff out of the 9th spot with Max Fried on the mound for the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, and this Brewers offense has got their workout cut out for him today against Max Fried. Best ERA in the second half with a 1.74. 3 career starts, 2-1 with a 2.57 against the Milwaukee Brewers. And one of the best curveballs in baseball.
How good was he, especially the second half of the season, but really just a terrific year for him. He seems he has matured so much.
Well, the second half, he kind of took that step forward to becoming, you know, that other ace with Charlie Morton. Was the NL pitcher of the month in September and had 2 complete game shutouts against the Baltimore Orioles and the San Diego Padres.
Arguably the best pitcher in the second half in the National League. It's a grounder foul.
And let's take a look at that curveball. It's got 67 Ks on it this year. Opposing hitters hitting $160, and you can see the horizontal break and the vertical drop to it. Continues to get better and better at that pitch, and has taken him to that ace level.
93 innings pitched in the second half, went 8-2 with 1.74 ERA. That was the best in the National League. You heard so much about Burns, you heard so much about Scherzer in the second half, but really it's this guy. You look at the numbers. To center, and Duvall back a step or 2, handles out number 1.
Well, the Braves, not much different for them today. Brian Snitker says this is our lineup. This is who we play every day. Travis d'Arnaud back behind the plate today in game 2, and the best defensive and offensive infield in baseball going around there with Riley, Swanson, Albies, and Freeman, and of course in the outfield Rosario, Adam Duvall in center, and Jorge Soler in right.
Here is the season-changing Willy Adames. Comes to the Brewers on the 21st of May by way of the Tampa Bay Rays, and this team just was sputtering to that point of the year. He turned the entire team around, and here they are, just taking off in the National League Central. He's had a terrific year. The numbers between Tampa Bay and in Milwaukee: 25 total home runs, a broken back grounder outside of third. Snapped the twig, and we'll need a new one.
Well, I was reading Craig Counsell talking about what it's like to face Max Fried and for their hitters, and that pitch right there was the one that he gave Max Fried a lot of credit. Says he really kind of bullies hitters and comes after them. He can get that fastball in on the righties like that. That's tough because he can also backdoor that breaking ball. So if you start trying to cheat on the inside, he notices that now, and he's able to locate away. And with Adames, you got to be careful with that fastball. You have to locate. Hits 309 off that compared to 175 off the breaking stuff.
Prior to the trade for Adames, the Brewers were 21-23. They were 3rd in the NL Central. Through a strained left quad at the end of August. Very healthy now and batting in the 2 spot for the Brewers as he takes the strike. New bat in hand. There are the numbers before and the numbers after. 74 wins after. Great play defensively in the top half of this, the first inning. Covered 118 feet. Able to make a catch over by the tarpon and foul ground. They were in a shift too.
And with the sun in your face a
right.
little bit.
Roof open, unusually so. Swing and a miss, and Adames strikes out. First K of the day for Max Fried. 2 down.
Now, his ball is 95, but if you talk to hitters, they'll tell you his fastball plays up 96, 97, even 98, guys, and he just sneaks it right by him. And a lot of that, again, like we saw with Charlie Morton yesterday, Don, the respect for that curveball keeps hitters off that fastball and lets Max go to work.
Beautiful venue here at American Family Field for game 2 of the NLDS, and a grounder off the bat of Escobar right to Swanson, and it's a 1-2-3 first inning for Max Fried. We're done with 1 without a score for Milwaukee.
Our heartbeats boom boom boom.
Ever wonder why baseball loves bobbleheads or what your favorite players keep in their lockers? Want to know what the superstars talk about in the dugout? MLB Originals has these answers and much more. Stream today in the MLB app. You can answer that question for us, Frenchie. No?
Not on this show.
Okay. It's on to the second inning. Adam Duvall in his second go-around as a member of the Atlanta Braves. So happy to be back on a contender and a team that is in the postseason. He started this 2021 as a member of the Miami Marlins. Grounds one down to third where Luis Urias fires across for out number one. A pitch, one out in the second inning.
Well, you got to love first pitch outs. Keep that pitch count down. And this is an Atlanta Braves team that has relied on the long ball all year. They score a lot of their runs via the homer, fourth highest in baseball. And you saw yesterday, the Brewers were able to hold them at bay, not give up home runs. And the number one team, the Giants, San Francisco, what they do last night, hit 3 home runs in the 4-0 win versus the Dodgers. So for this Atlanta Braves team today, they're trying to get that ball in the air a little bit, get some runs going.
Yesterday, the only run they scored, the home run by Jock Peterson, the pinch hit home run opposite field. That's the only way they were able to score in game one. Same can be said, though, for the Milwaukee Brewers with their 2-run home run from Rowdy Tellez. There's Eddie Rosario. 14 homers between Cleveland and Atlanta this year. Part of the, what did you call them yesterday? The hockey term, the third line.
Third line.
Outfield for the Braves, who had 3 different starting outfielders this year. There's a bunt bid, not a bad idea with a shift in play, and that ball is going to be a fair ball. And a base hit for Rosario. Looked up, saw the shift, drops it down. The Braves have been having trouble getting people on, so why not?
Well, sometimes you got to buck the trend, do something, get Woodruff out of the stretch. If they're going to play that big shift, Eddie Rosario does a great job of getting it down and just inside the line. Thomas tried to kick it foul. But in the postseason, you know, a runner's a rally. And we saw that yesterday with Garcia getting hit. And then what happens? The 2-run homer.
1 out, 1 on. Travis d'Arnaud gets the start behind the dish for the first 2 games of this NLDS for the Braves, and the recipient of ball 1. And Brian Snitker said yesterday he knew they were in for a long day after they did not score and get to Burns in that first inning yesterday.
Yeah, when we talked to him, remember, the third, he mentioned that there, and then of course made sure to mention that to us again this morning, knowing that that was a big swing momentum.
Yeah, first and third with nobody out. And like Woodruff, Burns, for whatever reason, has had trouble in the first inning. And he's one of those guys that if you don't get to him in the first, you may not get to him, and they did. And the bullpen was stellar in game 1 for Milwaukee. Ball and a strike. Strike 2. Arnaud missing 86 games this year, placed in the IL with the torn ligaments in his left thumb. A second one return till August the 11th. 32 career postseason games. This veteran backstop who is down on the count 1-2. Bouncing in, it's blocked by Pena, but it gets away from him, and to second base goes Rosario. He'll round it. And the wild pitch uncorked by Woodruff.
So now here in the second, the Braves yesterday 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position.
Went to the backhand on that instead of turning the glove over and blocking it.
And probably wishes he had that one over. Now this Braves team will have a couple chances to try to get the early lead.
It's a 2-2 to d'Arnaud. Did he go? No, he did not. Check with the crew chief, Alfonso Marquez. Ball Grounded out. Bunt single for Rosario. Takes second on the wild pitch. Full count to Travis d'Arnaud. Strike three. Go to the fastball to get it. 94 and by him in the second K for Woodruff. 2 down.
Almost same location. He went to Austin Riley for the strikeout. That one not as up, but working that inside part of the plate on these right-handed hitters.
2 down with Rosario at second base. Here comes Dansby Swanson. Braves shortstop with 27 home runs during the regular season. 88 RBIs. A base hit in game 1, 1 for 3.
Well, first base open right here, so you'd be thinking a little bit, maybe they'll put him on. That's the second inning also. Max Fried on deck's one of the better hitting pitchers in baseball.
He can hit a little bit.
Can.
He's got 15 hits this year, 15 for 55, a .273 hitter.
Including a walk-off single back in the first half of the season.
Two down. Rosario hanging around second base, and in that general area is the Brewers' second baseman Colt Wong, trying to keep him close. A scoreless game, inning number 2. Ball 1. Swanson enjoyed a career year in highs in virtually every cumulative offensive category. Hits, doubles, home runs, RBIs. However, he was cold in September, just a 176 last month of the regular season. Strike 2.
Well, high strikeout guy. You're going to get those career numbers, the home runs, the power. 167 Ks for Swanson this year. And that's the changeup that Woodruff doesn't throw a whole bunch. And majority to lefties, but if he gets a matchup he likes against righties, you'll see him unleash that pitch.
Claws up in Milwaukee as they stand. On the ground to short. Willie Adames. The throw is good, and the inning is over. The Braves leave a runner at second, scoreless after an inning and a half. Let's take a look at today's odds, powered by DraftKings Sportsbook. Odds question is Max Fried over under 5.5 strikeouts today. The over +110, the under -145.
He's on pace right now with one in the first.
Struck out Willie Adames. Only strikeout so far today. We're headed into the bottom of the second inning. Scoreless game in game 2 of the NLDS.
Max Fried only 11 pitches in that first inning. Was brilliant, and that's really kind of what you talk about, taking him to the next level. He has struggled at times getting through that first. This second half of the season, not so much. Garcia again with that first pitch hacking.
Abisail Garcia, 29 home runs during the regular season. So for 3 in game 1 with a couple of strikeouts for the Brewers right fielder.
One of the big plays yesterday, Charlie Morton in the bottom of the 7th was really cruising along and got ahead of Garcia 0-2 and ended up hitting him and putting him on before that 2-run homer.
That set the table.
It did. And that's, yeah, I was going to say that's the pitch that, you know, Max Fried, they don't talk about too much because of how good the curveball is, but one of the better sliders in baseball too.
He's got it all working for him really in the second half of the year, carrying it into today. This one fouled off to the right on play.
Well, talking to Brian Snicker before game one, both of us were down there, and he felt obviously great about Charlie Morton taking the ball in game one. You could tell he had a smile when he was talking about Max Fried in game two. He really liked this matchup for Max. Brewers, not as great against left-handed pitching, and spin. Felt like it was a good matchup for Max.
Swing and a miss, and Garcia with an off-balance strikeout right there. That's a second K for Max Fried. One down.
And there's that slider, whereas as a hitter, there's some guys you might be thinking, here comes that curveball. And look where that slider ends up. Starts over the middle of the plate, and by the time Garcia swings, it's disappearing by his back foot.
One out here in the second inning for Christian Yelich. Back-to-back, relatively quiet offensive seasons for Yelich. Trying to figure it out, what's happened to Christian Yelich, but really it's probably about health more than anything else, perhaps the last 2 years. Trying to stay healthy. He's had some back problems. And as a result, for the first time, getting outside the top three in the postseason as far as the batting order goes. He bats fifth in this game for Craig Counsell today.
Well, and I'm sure that's tough for Craig Counsell to pencil him in fifth, but Escobar, what he does against right-handed or left-handed pitching.
On the ground and through into left field, a base hit. Yelich taking it the other way as a board. First hit of the day for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Well, sometimes to get yourself going, the lefty-lefty matchup's not the worst thing for a hitter. You try to do less, just kind of see the ball. And Yelich still great back control, even though he hasn't had a great year, and just shoots this one to left field.
Well placed between Swanson and Riley on that left side. So one out, one on, and Luis Urias makes his first appearance of the NLDS. 23 home runs for him this year, 75 runs batted in.
A lot of people were wondering when Adames came over, where he was going to play, how he was going to fit in. Was there shortstop? Well, he calls Adames his big brother, and since he's come over, Urias hit 206 before. Since Adames has come over, 262 with an 823 OPS. Really helped him out.
In the dirt and smothered there by Darno. No advance at first base for Yelich. Well, before his big brother arrived, Adames, 40 games, he's hitting at 206. After the Adames arrival, in 110 games, ended up hitting 262, but hit 19 home runs and drove in 56 runs. Size lead for Yelich at first. Fried looks in his direction. It's 2-0. And it's lined to short. Swanson makes the catch, takes a look towards first, but has no other play. 2 down.
This ball got in on Urias a little bit. Wasn't able to fully get extended. Kind of hit a little looper at Dansby Swanson. We saw Yelich kind of playing mind games a little bit over at first. Max Fried, maybe the best pickoff move in all of baseball. Really, by himself, can shut down a running game.
2 down. Yelich at first, and there's Lorenzo Cain, the veteran center fielder. That's out of the 7th spot. 8 home runs during the regular season and opted out of 2020 last year. Loop to left center, and over is Rosario to make the catch that will end the inning. Yelich is left at first, done with 2 without a score from Milwaukee in game 2. 2021 National League Division Series. It's presented by Good Sam. It's on to the third inning back in Milwaukee at America Family Field. And leading it off is Max Fried. And for Fried, despite all the experience in the postseason for him, this is his first plate appearance of the postseason. 15 hits during the regular season, 15 for 55 at 273. One of your better hitting pitchers.
In 2019 for the run for the Braves, used basically out of the pen the whole time. They used him 3-4 different times throughout the series, and then last year, of course, the DH.
Fouls it off to the left out of play. No home runs. He did drive in 5 runs during the regular season. Woodruff so far is allowed a walk and a bunt base hit. That's been it. 2 strikeouts through the first 2 innings for Woodruff.
We talked to a lot of pitchers about, is the DH coming? You know, most of them, we'd love it. You talk to Max Fried about it, not so much. He wants to hit.
There's a handful of those guys
the guys that like to hit.
Yeah. I would say many more do not.
Yeah.
Things like injuries come into play too when you're talking about pitchers running the bases and hitting, and just take that element away. I think it would be less stress on some guys.
Well, they'll tell you, be an athlete.
Yeah. Says the former position player. 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Fried strikes out. Third strikeout for Brandon Woodruff. In between innings, we caught up with Brian Snitker, the manager of the Atlanta Braves, and I asked him first about his starter, Max Fried. Well, Brian, Max Fried has been amazing for you in the second half, and what do you see from him so far today, and what has been the biggest difference for him in the second half?
Well, I think he just been on the attack more. I mean, he's got really good command of his pitches. The fastball, slider, curveball, the two-seamer. It's just all working for him.
Offensively, Snit, you look at your team yesterday, couldn't get too much going off Burns. Do you like the at-bats a little bit better so far?
Yeah, no, I do. You know, it's just like we're facing really good pitching, and the guys are going to grind at bats. That's the thing, you know. These guys are used to facing guys like Scherzer and Strasburg and DeGrom and all them kind of guys, and they're, you know, it's and the tendency's been to grind at bats, and I think we just have to continue to do that.
Well, thanks to Brian Snitker for joining us, and as we mentioned before, yesterday they had a golden opportunity in the first inning, didn't get it, and then only mustered the 1 run in game 1. Do not have a run yet. Here game 2, and here's a fair ball down the left field line, kicks around, and over to play it is Yelich, heading for 2 as Soler. Throw goes there, and he'll get there with a 1-out double. Jorge Soler in scoring position with 1 down for the Atlanta Braves.
Well, just on time, talking about grinding ABs out, and your leadoff hitter pulls a pitch right down the line. That's a Woodruff trying to go in, misses out over the plate, and Soler hits it right down the line.
So a 1-out double, second hit of this game for the Braves. First extra base hit they've collected, and here's Freddie Freeman. Worked a walk in the first inning. The only walk handed out by Brandon Woodruff to this point.
Well, this is where Freddie Freeman really starts to, you know, become one of the best hitters in the league. 352 with runners in scoring position, one of the best in the league. Chance to get the Braves with an early lead.
Well, the Braves as a group were so good during the regular season with runners in scoring position. And yesterday really frustrated that category. Already in this game, 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. 1 out in the third inning. Ball and a strike now to Freeman.
I thought it was interesting. You heard Brian Snitker say they face these guys. That's kind of where the National League and American League have been in the playoffs right now.
Yes.
I mean, the National League has had some serious arms thrown at you. The American League more kind of offense. Just think about the 4 guys yesterday in the National League that started: Burns, Morton, Webb, and Buehler. It's pretty good.
And as a result, not many runs scored. certainly when you take a look at the American League runs scored. Time for the little things, brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza. Runners in scoring position in the year 267. It's the All-Star break at 285, and yesterday 0 for 4, 0 for 6 so far in this series. And Freddie Freeman trying to do something about that as he takes a look at the defense out there with the second baseman Wong ducking back to the short lawn and right. Rolls it over, foul over by the Brewers dugout.
I was going to say, if you're trying to break that streak and get it going, get that first hit, you got the right guy up at the plate. It's one thing Freddie Freeman does as well as anybody in baseball, continues against tough pitching like this to foul pitches off, see another until that pitcher makes a mistake.
Lengthy at bat in the first that led to a base on balls. One-two again. Freeman lines one to right field for a base hit. Jorge Soler being waved around. Here comes the throw from Garcia. He's got a great arm, but it'll be late. And the Braves strike first as Soler comes in on the Freddie Freeman base hit to right. 1-0 Atlanta.
I said it right before, Don, the right guy at the plate for the Atlanta Braves. And here's a curveball from Woodruff. Kind of middle. And Freddie Freeman lines it to right field. And Soler with a good jump. Kind of went right off the bat. Ron Washington, one of the most aggressive third base coaches in baseball, sends him and gets the Braves on the board.
Got to be careful with that Garcia arm. He's got a cannon out there in right field, but Soler gets in there.
Yeah, they took a chance. Yesterday got one thrown out. Soler thrown out in the first inning at home. Here it pays off.
Freddie Freeman comes up big. Albies will chop one foul over by the Brewers side of things. They're housed on the first base side. Albies fouled out to Willie Adames, the shortstop. Had to run a ton over by the tarp down the left field line to make the catch. And robbed Albies in the first inning. Second look at Brandon Woodruff as they shift on the right side. To right field, sending Garcia going back towards the track at the wall. That ball is up off the top of the wall, stays in the yard. Freeman's going to try and score. Here comes the throw to the plate. He will be safe. Ball gets away, and the Braves take a 2-0 lead. That nearly got out of here to right field, but it stays in the yard. Albies has himself a double, and the Braves have a 2-0 lead.
I thought that ball was gone. It must have hit right off the top of the wall.
Right, Snicker wants to know. He's coming out. He thinks it's gone.
Change up down in the zone. Ozzie Albies happy place, likes to drop that bat head.
Oh, right at the top.
Yeah. Came right back. And this is where you talk communication is so important, because right here Garcia throws it in after this, Don, and I think if Wong gets that ball right away and throws it, Freddie Freeman might have been out at home plate.
I would agree.
Wong froze for a minute before he knew Freddie was going and just beats the throw.
And indeed a double here for Ozzie Albies off the top of the wall. You know, the way it just hit the top of the wall and came back made it look like it may have gone over and come back.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the Braves were thinking, but not the case. Stays in the yard, and it is an RBI double for Albies, and it's a 2-0 Braves lead.
Yeah, good camera work right here. You can tell right off the yellow part and right back to Garcia. And Ron Washington with another aggressive send at third base.
I think you have to be, though, the way runs are being scored in this series.
Yeah, probably have to take a chance.
Austin Riley, a strikeout victim in the first, one of 3 strikeouts for Woodruff so far. But Woodruff has surrendered a pair of runs so far here in the top half of the 3rd inning for the Braves.
And it's great work by this Atlanta Braves team with runners in scoring position. We talked about Freddie Freeman's. Don, Ozzie Albies a .307 hitter with runners in scoring position, and now Austin Riley with a .313. So they got the guys right part of the lineup for them right now with guys on scoring position.
Austin Riley having a great season, a great second half. First Brave under the age of 25 with a .300 average, 30 homers, 30 doubles, and 100 RBIs since Andrew Jones back in 2000.
Pretty good company.
Yes, indeed. Waiting on a 2-1 to third, picked by Urias. His throw is good, and that's out number 2. No advance for Albies, who remains at second base.
Well, the second time through the lineup, you're seeing the Atlanta Braves kind of change, I think, a little bit, getting a little more aggressive with Woodruff. Last 4 Braves have all swung at the first pitch. It's not a guy that you want to get 2 strikes in. He's got so many ways to kind of put you away. He doesn't walk a lot of people.
Here's Adam Duvall, grounded out to Urias at third base in the second inning. 0 for 1. Not quite a shift. They do play for him to pull, though, in the infield with Long by second base. Grounded down to third, and Urias from foul ground gets it there in time. Nice play by Luis Urias, racing in, making the throw against the grain, off balance. Two runs in the inning for the Atlanta Braves. On top, 2-0.
Stay up to date? Hey Siri, show me the MLB postseason schedule.
Back in Milwaukee, where the Braves have taken a 2-0 lead with a pair of runs in the top of the 3rd inning. Freddie Freeman drives in the first one. Ozzie Albies the other, and the Braves have a lead in this series for the first time. Max Fried returns to the hill. Manny Pena, the longest tenured Milwaukee Brewer, bats out of the 8th spot, gets his first start of the series.
And look at the regular season numbers there. Second half, 247 with 8 home runs. So really came on for Craig Counsell. A lot of power, 3 multi-home run games this year for Manny.
404 games spent in a Milwaukee Brewers uniform since 2016. Backup catcher role for the most part during that time. Three multi-home run games this year, too. They seem to come in bunches for Manny Pena. He's a streaky home run hitter. And the creator of Claws Up, which has become quite the thing in Milwaukee.
It's everywhere. Walk down the street downtown, that's what you see.
It's on buildings, buses. It's Claws Up.
Dugouts.
Dugouts. So they needed a thing. They didn't have anything. You steal a base, get a big hit, home run. They get nothing. So he comes up with Claws Up.
He's got to have some.
You got the Bucks coming off their championship.
Yeah.
So he got it. And it caught on pretty quickly around the clubhouse, and has with the Brewers in 2021. And you'll be hearing a lot more about it if they advance. Full count. Great hitter in Pena is Fried with a 3-2. Struck him out. Third strikeout for Max Fried, one down in the inning.
They went to that slider, 3-2 here. Pena backdoored it a little bit, got the K.
In between innings, we had the chance to talk to the Milwaukee Brewers manager, Craig Counsell. Craig, your thoughts so far on Brandon Woodruff? What do you see today?
Yeah, I think Woody's throwing the ball well. He just, that breaking ball to Albies kind of just got down to the spot where he likes it. So, he's throwing the ball good. He's throwing the ball good. He just got to keep going and just keep making pitches against a tough lineup.
Craig, another tough guy in Max Fried for your offense today. What's the approach against him today to try to get some runs?
Yeah, I mean, I think, Max is obviously throwing the ball really well. He throws the ball in on right-handers very well, and it's that fine line of just getting him a little out over the plate, and that's where we've seen a couple balls. Kane, Urias just kind of missing some balls a little bit on the hands, and that's the difference.
Our thanks to Craig Counsell, who really is the perfect guy to be at the helm of the Milwaukee Brewers. And with more, we check in with Matt Weiner.
Yeah, Don, Craig Counsell's history with this organization goes back well beyond his 7 years here as manager. Of course, he played here and he grew up here. In fact, he said his first playoff memory was the '82 ALCS against the Angels when a young Craig Counsell positioned himself high up in the right field corner of Old County Stadium and stayed there because superstition told him that's where the Brewers would score runs. That's where he had to be. Well, he's got a better spot now, but he could use some runs.
Grounder right side of the backhand goes Freeman. He'll need help, and Fried is there for the out as Woodruff is retired. 3-1 for the second out of the third inning.
Woodruff also a good hitting pitcher. Freddie Freeman does a good job of setting himself, tossing it to Max Fried. And Craig Counsell, the longest tenured manager in the NL. I like what he said to us. I kind of count Don Mattingly because he didn't take any time off, but he said definitely very fortunate in this day and age where you kind of move jobs a lot to have been here for a long time.
Well, you know what? They've been consistent for a long time in all of his years. I mean, he seems to get them there every time.
Yeah, and I think what makes him such a good manager and dynamic is he can find ways to do it, different ways. I mean, he's had to mix and match openers, one out to start a game and then bring someone new in. And whereas this year, he's kind of had to do it a little different, where he's riding that pitching staff. Maybe the offense not as good, but finds a way to get here again.
He adjusts, though.
He does.
I mean, there's not one blueprint with Craig Counsell. It's just kind of what goes for him. What the makeup of his roster is that year is the way he's going to go. And I also get the feeling from talking to some of their players that they respect the heck out of this guy for what he did in his own career, making the most of his abilities.
Well, he battled all the time, and exactly. And then you got a guy that manages like that.
A pop up to Dansby Swanson. It's a 1-2-3 third. 2-0 Braves lead.
For the day I die, I'ma touch the sky. Gotta testify.
Everything RBI for every RBI during the NLCS. Lawn Depot will be donating $1,000 to the Boys and Girls of America. That's on top of the over $500,000 already donated this year. 2-0 Braves lead. As the Albies driving in, almost put it out of the yard off the top of the wall. And as the Braves come to bat here in the fourth inning. Eddie Rosario to lead it off. The bunt base hit in the second inning.
Well, the Braves with this big second run here, and this is where you talk about communication. Wong right here. Look, no one's telling him the runner's going, and this play is bang bang at home plate. If the communication's there and he's a little better, that is an out at home plate. Big run for the Atlanta Braves.
Ground ball left side. Here comes Adames on the run and in time.
Wong can't see what's going on in front of him, so he's got to rely on somebody to let him know to throw it right at home.
It's actually Urias who is in the shift. Made that play coming in from his third base spot, but on the left side of the infield. And it is out number one of this fourth inning with Travis d'Arnaud coming up. Yeah, he held on to the baseball a long time. You're right.
Not his fault. I mean,
no.
He has no idea. He's actually thinking, I'm probably going to throw out Ozzie Albies at third base is what it looked like, and someone has to relay to him. You got him at home. 4-4.
The Braves striking first on top 2-0. Looking to add on here in the 4th inning. Travis d'Arnaud, the veteran catcher, a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. Woodruff with 3 Ks so far through 3 1/3.
And right now, the way this series is going, every run is pretty darn important.
Tough to come by.
Yep.
Strike 2. Brandon Woodruff was the Brewers' opening day starter. Certainly one of the most unlucky starters in baseball. Averaging just 3.79 runs of support with Woodruff in the game. Strikes out d'Arnaud. 4 strikeouts for Woodruff. 2 down in the 4th inning.
Yeah, it just beats him with the high fastball. 97, 98 right by him. Tough pitch to lay off, and even tougher pitch to even make contact. That's the one thing you knew. This Atlanta Braves offense is dynamic, and as powerful as they are, the Brewers led all of the NL in whiff rates this year at 28.6%. So you knew there was going to be some swing and miss in the series.
Here's Dansby Swanson. Speaking of swings and misses, you mentioned the number of strikeouts he's had this year.
Racked up a bunch the first 2.5 months of the season, then really had a big second half until the last month.
Bounces in, 1-1.
He's a guy like yesterday. We showed you Austin Riley's spray chart going to right field. When Dansby Swanson's at his best, that ball's going to the right center gap up the middle, and it keeps him on those pitches where it's not trying to pull off.
There's a gap in that general direction in right center with Lorenzo Cain right now positioned over towards left center. Step or 2. Strike 2. Next pitch will be the 60th for Woodruff of his outing through 3 2/3 innings as they're back up in Milwaukee. Gets a piece, stays alive.
You can see throwing a lot of off speed to Dansby Swanson right now. A couple change-ups, slider. Dansby 254 off the fastball. Under 220 on the breaking stuff.
Striking out 25.6% of the time. 10th in the National League in the K rate. Down on the count, 1-2. Ball 2, 2-2. Minuscule ERA for Woodruff during the regular season of 2.56. 30 regular season starts. It's different in the post. Opposite field, Garcia came in, now goes back and makes the catch. First step was in, but he recovers. 1, 2, 3, 4th. It's 2-0 Atlanta. Stay tuned for a message brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of MLB.
Well, all's good before the game, Don. Yeah, hey, how's it going? Want to hang out after? Well, then Ozzie Albies hits this pop-up, and Willie Adames runs it down all the way by the tarp. Probably not talking too much right now. Great catch.
Adames leads it off here in the 4th inning. With more, we check in with Matt Weiner.
Yeah, Don, the Brewers season turned around with the acquisition of Willie Adames because of what he does on the field. Of course, catches like that is production at the plate, but the players, the coaches, everyone universally raves about his impact on the clubhouse because he is a fountain of positivity and a unifier. Example, you know, when he came in, he took Luis Urias's spot at shortstop, but within days, the two of them were out working together, doing early work on the field. Everybody loves the guy, and I got to tell you, I spent about 5 minutes with him today after meeting him for the first time, and guys, I'm pretty sure we're best friends.
Is he a big Missouri Tiger fan?
That's amazing. He is kind of what a couple of players called like a motivational coach. I mean, like, he fires you up. You know what I mean? That's great coming from a teammate, not having to rely on a coaching staff to do that.
Well, and rarely do you see a trade that early in the season, really, you know, a guy come to a place like this and really just take over. And that's what he's done for this team, and the reason they were 30 games over after he came.
Stack it up on the left side. Full count. Adames in the 2 spot of this Brewers order. Just one hit off Max Fried so far today for Milwaukee. Adames wants time, gets it from Mike Malinsky, the home plate umpire. Escobar on deck, and then Garcia to follow in the Brewers' 4th inning.
Well, you saw Max Fried go to that slider on that pitch. He's throwing 7 sliders now in this game, all 7 for strikes. And he's gotten 2 strikeouts on it, so he has been tough with that pitch. Only 44 pitches on the day for Max.
Strike 3 call. Thought he had ball 4, but he's rung up by Mike Malinsky. That's strikeout number 4 for Fried in the first out of the bottom of the 4th inning.
Well, we talked to Craig Counsell between that inning. Don, what did he talk about? That fastball into these righties. And there you go, the idea of, okay, I got a slider out over the plate, and then you get that fastball in. If you've been around the plate like Max Fried has been so far today, you're going to get that pitch. And he had to make the perfect pitch to get Adames out.
1 out here in the 4th inning for Eduardo Escobar. 28 home runs, 90 runs batted in between Milwaukee and Arizona this year for Escobar.
I got a chance to talk to him for a few minutes today before the game and congratulate him on his 1,000th hit this year, and he said he just never could have imagined as a little kid getting 1,000 hits in the big leagues.
Yes, he did.
Strike 3, and it makes quick work of Escobar. Back-to-back strikeouts for Fried. 2 down in the 4th inning.
I mean, just 3 fastballs. This one down in the zone. Hits the check swing. Sure, this Brewers lineup, after facing Charlie Morton yesterday and coming back in Fried today, one of the main reasons that win for the Brewers yesterday was that important.
Maybe looking at Peralta for game 3 too. He was up in the pen yesterday, which surprised a lot of folks. We asked Craig Counsell about him today, said he would not be in the bullpen for today's game, a down day. So everything's kind of pointing to Peralta getting the start in game 3. So, you know, coming in here, if you're the Braves, you are going to face the top 3 guys that they have, which are among the best in Major League Baseball.
Well, the Braves, as an offense, knew coming into this series what they were going to face from a standpoint of their pitching staff. That's why I said it was such an intriguing series, in the fact that you have one of the best offenses in the National League going against, you know, arguably, maybe other than the Dodgers with them, the best pitching staff in baseball.
0-2 is a base hit into left center field. Avisaíl Garcia is on. He's got the 2nd hit for the Brewers of the day, trying to get something going with 2 down here in the 4th inning.
That's what you kind of got to do. You got to get that fastball out over the plate, so you got to find a way. Sometimes if he's going to keep coming in there with that fastball, I don't want to necessarily say you got to cheat and open up, but Garcia does a great job here getting going a little bit earlier and kind of getting it out there.
2 down, last of the 4th with Garcia at first. Here is Christian Yelich. over to first, and back safely is Garcia. Got to be careful with Max Fried's move.
Yeah, 6 pickoffs this year, second in the National League. He kind of brings it up, and he's real slow, and then fires it over there.
First strike. Garcia coming up with the base hit with 2 strikes. 5 of the 7 hits for the Brewers in this series have come with 2 strikes.
Second time in a row now we've seen Max Fried start off Christian Yelich with that get me over curveball. And even since last time when Yelich hit it through the left side over there, not really playing a shift on him, playing more straight up in the infield. For a guy that can kind of handle the bat.
And his base hit was through the left side his first time up. Changed his mind in the middle on that swing. Nasty stuff.
Look at that thing sinking in after seeing 2 curveballs. What a pitch to come back with.
That was at 94, that kind of movement, too.
Yeah.
So it's not soft stuff coming in like that.
No.
That is strike 3 as Yelich knew it. Takes with him the 6th strikeout for Fried. 2-0 Atlanta.
NLDS is brought to you by Good Sam RV Parks, America's largest campground network, and by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G network.
Arthur Fonzarelli, he is into the postseason on CBS.
He's a big fan.
It is the 5th, and Max Fried, the pitcher, leads off and fouls one off down the left field line out of play. Fried struck out swinging in the 3rd inning. It is Fried out of the 9th spot, followed by Soler and Freeman as part of this Braves 5th inning. Atlanta on top, 2-0. Strike 2.
And you can see both these pitchers against each other. 2 good hitting pitchers can't just groove it down the middle. And you see Woodruff there really hitting the spot at 96 in on Max.
The first 2 games as advertised, great pitching matchups. All the starters backing it up. That's strike 3. Second time Fried's down by way of the K. 5 strikeouts for Woodruff. Well, T-Mobile covers the most interstate highway miles with 5G, home or away. Stay connected to your team with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage. 1 out in the 5th. And here is Jorge Soler.
Jorge, who started the rally in the 3rd inning with the double down the left field line, came around to score on Freddie Freeman's single.
1 through 3 hitters much better today. This one is fouled back in our general direction. Soler fly to right in the 1st inning, doubled and scored in the 3rd. It's by him at 97.
You locate that fastball there, it's not going to get touched too often.
Woodruff with 1 out here in the 5th inning, and the shift on the left side. About to throw his 68th pitch of his outing. And it bounces in for ball 1.
Well, that 4-seamer Woodruff, still his best pitch to me. It's got such velocity on it. It jumps at you. Coming into this inning today, he's thrown 23 of them, 20 for strikes. Got 4 strikeouts on that pitch.
Elevates, doesn't chase. Only 7 home runs during the regular season for Soler. Started the year as a member of the Kansas City Royals. Talked about it yesterday. I've heard about Soler and his defense, and a lot of people say, well, he really can't play defense all that well. Probably going to be a DH in the American League. Well, Brian Snitker puts him in right field every day, and he leads him off in his lineup. And it's been very different from, I guess, the scouting report of the past.
Yeah, he's your prototypical leadoff hitter.
Yeah. 27-70 on the year. And this one is off himself foul.
Well, Eric Young, a Braves first base coach, great outfield coaches in baseball, kind of talks about, I just put him deep. You know, I tell him, look, don't let any damage go over your head. We can handle singles in front of us and live to see another day. And so he's tried to work him in. And really, for Eric Young, he's had to work a lot of outfielders for this Braves team this year.
The off pitch to Soler with 1 out. And that's a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks for Woodruff, 6 in all. And that's the gas there at 98. Well, tonight's base cam is presented by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage. And lots more action around that base at second than we have seen in the first game of this NLDS.
Well, Woodruff's got the good curveball change slider. That's another one where he's got the good fastball today, and he just let that one eat at 98 and threw it right by Soler.
2 down for Freddie Freeman. His RBI single in the 3rd inning got the scoring started for Atlanta after 83 RBIs during the regular season.
So far this game, Freddie, with the single and the walk. It's a lot of walks, which has enabled him 120 runs scored for him this year, first in the National League.
Strike right down the middle. Kind of a slow start for him to begin the year, but boy, that changed fast.
And after about 6 to 8 weeks, he just talked how he started to feel better. His body felt better. It's in a better frame of mind. I think the whole contract stuff was on his mind a lot, according to him. Still not sorted out, but
just cannot imagine him in another uniform. I mean, it seems like both parties here want the same thing, and whenever that's the case, it generally gets worked out.
That's usually, I know what that man's hoping for.
Lined and caught. Colton Wong going up into the air. He's in the shift in short right, and he reels it in. Without the shift, that's a base hit. Colton Wong says no. Let's take a look at today's odds powered by DraftKings Sportsbook. Odds question is total runs for 7 innings, over, under 4.5, and a -110, over, under a -120. As we play on to the bottom of the 5th inning in Milwaukee, the Brewers do not have a run yet as they come to bat here in the last of the 5th. Luis Urias will take strike 1 from Max Fried.
And Fried has done a great job on these Brewers hitters today of getting ahead. Throwing that first pitch strike.
Urias getting his second look at Fried. He lined out to short. First time up and quickly finds himself down 0-2.
Well, you can see what those hitters are dealing with.
Fly ball to right field, sending Soler back towards the track, onto it to make the catch. They kind of twisted around, but back there to make the grab for out number 1.
He got him out just in front enough. He wasn't able to get everything, but good approach. I think that's what, as a right-handed hitter against Fried, that's what you got to kind of do, is look to shoot that right center gap. It lets you stay on that pitch.
1 out here in the 5th, and it brings up Lorenzo Cain.
Brandon Woodruff up 3rd now, and getting into the 5th inning, bottom of the 5th here. Got activity down in the Brewers bullpen.
Jay Cousins up in the pen right now for Milwaukee. The first action we've seen for either side.
Well, and look, you hate, I'm sure if you're Craig Counsell, to have to take Woodruff out of this game right now, but you're getting deep into it and haven't had much offense.
Strike 2.
Changeup from Fried. A rare changeup and see him throw.
Yeah, you know, you have to make that exchange at some point.
Yep.
As the game moves on. You're going to go for the offensive side of things and try to get something going, especially down here by 2 runs. And sacrifice what you get going here from your starting pitcher. And Brandon Woodruff, who's only thrown 77 so far.
Yep.
1-2 pitch to Lorenzo Cain.
Remember, Craig Counsell told us down in the dugout before the game day, everything kind of lined up for us yesterday. You know, Burns was leading off that inning, so he was able to pinch hit, got the walk from Vogelback. And today a little bit, you feel like it switched, and now he's got to kind of make a decision possibly here in a minute what he wants to do.
And he was going to bring Peralta in, he said.
Yes.
Hadn't gotten to that point. Not just warming him up for effect or a bullpen day. He was coming into that game.
Well, that's the Devin Williams effect that we talked about. You know, what are you going to do without him in the 8th inning? And you had it. He was either going to his, what we thought game 3 starter, still do. And he stuck with Hauser.
Ball 3. Full count to Lorenzo Cain. Brewers have been held to 2 hits. Yelich has singled to left. Garcia singled to center. It's Cain now. Pena will be next. Slowly rolled off the hill is Fried. Turns and fires. Gets him. Nice play by Max Fried. Quickly off the mound, able to gather it, no panic, and he throws out Cain for out number 2.
Yeah, great job. BFP in spring training. Max Fried, a really good athlete. Gets to this ball, and the big key, takes his time and sets to throw a strike to Freddie Freeman. Sometimes you see those pitchers hurry, and they end up throwing it away, but Max with a strike to Freddie Freeman.
2 down in the 5th for Manny Pena. A strikeout victim in the 3rd inning. And if you're wondering about Brandon Woodruff, he is due next, and Rowdy Tellez has come out. They do have Cousins ready to go in the pen. See if it gets that far. There are 2 outs in the inning, which is the other aspect to this. And 77 pitches for Woodruff through 5. And Craig Counsell just yelled something in his direction.
My guess is probably telling him, look, if he gets out here, you're back out there.
0-2. Well, get your game on MLBshop.com. Authentic on-field caps, tees, hoodies, and more. Get all your postseason gear and wear what the champs wear at the official source, MLBshop.com. Good looking postseason gear as we are into October in 2021 National League Division Series Game 2. Brewers won Game 1. Braves have a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning of Game 2. Go 2 to Pena. Got him. 7 strikeouts for Fried the second time that Pena is down by way of the K. Got it all working today, does Max Fried. To get in on the MLB action with daily fantasy sports betting and free play pools. All postseason play in free late inning pools for a swing at over $50,000 in prizes. Use promo code HEAT. You sign up today. On to the 6th. Braves have a 2-0 advantage, and leading it off is Ozzie Albies. And because his spot did not come up in the order, Brendan Woodruff does indeed return to the mound. That is pitch 78 of his outing. Albies doubled to drive in a run off him last time up in the 3rd inning. Pretty good hack right there, has him down 0-2.
Yeah, not that Woodruff hasn't been emptying the tank, but right here, knowing with him leading off, it's going to be his last inning. Sticking hard fastball up last time. Albies got a changeup that he hit off the top of the wall.
High for ball 1. Times through the order this year. First time just 185, second 210, and third. That's impressive. It's 209. It's not like a huge difference as far as seeing somebody a 3rd time. And that is something that across Major League Baseball seems to be a great fear.
Yeah.
Is having your starting pitcher face the team for the 3rd time.
Yeah, but that's where, to me, sometimes the eye test comes in, how he's throwing the ball. You know, both these guys tonight, you feel like they're still been making pitches when they've needed to.
Elevates, and Albies chases and strikes out. 7 Ks for Woodruff.
And there goes that fastball 4-seam up in the zone. At 97, it's such a tough pitch to lay off. And 6 of his 7 Ks today on that fastball.
9 in a row now retired by Woodruff. 1 out in the 6th inning for Austin Riley. 0 for 2. And the recipient of strike 1 right at the knee. It's a slider that time. Riley has struck out swinging, grounded out to 3rd. What is your approach at the plate against Woodruff?
Well, I mean, you've got to look fastball. I mean, when it's 98, you can't get caught. But again, I think you've got to try to shoot him that right center gap.
Speaking of right center gap, this is headed out towards right center field, deep far, and that ball is gone. Kept on going, Austin Riley, with his 34th home run of the year, 33 during the regular season, and he takes it out to right center field on cue. And the Atlanta Braves jump out on top 3-0.
Yeah, he used a big part of the field. And that's kind of been talking about, trying to shoot that right center gap to keep you on the off-speed stuff. And that's a changeup. He just hits it to right center, 428 feet, a little bit over 105 off the bat. Gives this Braves team a 3-0 lead.
Here is Adam Duvall. Austin Riley, such a terrific year, especially in the second half. Next on the solo home run that gives the Braves a 3-0 lead, and a very quiet American Family Field right now in Milwaukee.
Well, in a game like this where runs are tough to come by, those tack-on runs you can get, and for the Brewers hitters, knowing how Max Fried right now is in control of this ball game, that 3-0 lead's got to feel pretty tough.
The postseason, for every Moonblast hit, a home run over 425 feet means a $10,000 donation to charity courtesy of FTX, the official crypto exchange of MLB. Popped up down the first baseline. Escobar in foul ground will make the catch for out number 2. Escobar still finding his way over there at first base, but he handles out number 2 as Duvall is retired. That'll bring up Eddie Rosario.
Man, that's the one thing. Escobar, yeah, you used to playing third. Now you're on the other side. But those type balls, the foul balls, I mean, he's a good athlete. It's like anything, probably just the spin of the ball, where you're at.
Rosario with a bunt single in the second inning, grounded out to third in the fourth, and a swing and a miss for strike 1 here in the 6th inning. Braves have added a run on the home run by Austin Riley. This next pitch will be the 90th of this game for Woodruff. His last inning, due up first next, and that is strike 2. Still got the good gas at 97.
Well, look, Woodruff pitched a good ball game. It was no different yesterday than Charlie Morton pitched a good game, but he was going against Burns, and that's kind of where Woodruff's at right now. He's just facing Fried. These pitchers, margin of error is tiny.
On the ground, picked on the backhand. In time. Austin Riley is homered for the Atlanta Braves. Put him on top 3-0.
Driving hybrid work, and by Royal Caribbean, rise to the vacation. Come seek.
We must be in Milwaukee. Sausage race.
You gotta love that.
To the bottom of the 6th inning, Rowdy Tellez will lead it off, pinch hitting for Brandon Woodruff. At the bottom of the 6th inning for Milwaukee with work to do.
And you might wonder, the lefty coming in to face Max Fried, the lefty. Rowdy 276 against left-handed pitching compared to 234, and of course coming off the big home run in game 1.
Popped up, foul ground, and Max Fried wants it, and he'll get it. Braves pitcher and foul ground takes control, makes the catch.
Well, you don't see that too much. But with the shift, and Dansby Swanson playing back, a much easier play for Max Fried than Travis d'Arnaud.
Dansby Swanson was the next closest Brave, coming from shortstop in the shift. But 1 out thanks to Max Fried's catch and foul ground, and it flips the order over. Here is Colton Wong. top spot. 0 for 2 for the Brewers in this game. And the recipient of strike one.
We talked about the athletic ability of Max. Got over there quick.
For Colton Wong, 14 home runs, a new career high. And half of them came off as leadoff home runs. With a Gold Glove caliber second base.
He's just been a stabilizing force for that team. Great defense. You say career high 14 homers. Welcomed his first child in September, Cash.
So strange not to see him in a Cardinals uniform.
Yep.
The shift now against him. Austin Riley in short right field, and a swing and a miss. And Fried keeps mowing him down. That's 8 strikeouts for Max Fried. 2 down here in the 6th inning. That was TBS Total Motion, presented by Progressive.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say? Max really has been in complete control against these hitters. Not much opportunity for the Brewers to score runs right now.
2 down in the 6th, and here's Willy Adames. He has had not much fun against Max Fried today. Struck out twice, once swinging and once looking.
That's Willie right there. Gets that first pitch. 95 had a good cut at it. You're facing Max Fried right now with the stuff he's got. You got to feel like, man, that was a pitch I could have had back, and you saw his face on it.
Thomas batting with 2 down, bases empty here in the 6th inning. So far, only 2 hits put together by the Milwaukee Brewers. Here's a liner to right field. Soler going back, and it'll be over his head. One hops the wall. Thomas is headed for 2. He'll get there with a slide and a double with 2 down here in the 6th inning. The line shot quickly over the head of Soler in right field.
We saw in the 5th inning Urias take Soler all the way deep to the wall. And here I think you're seeing a little bit better approach understanding. And Adames tries to just go with it and gets rewarded with the 2-out double. Trying anything they can do to get this crowd back in it.
So the 2-out double for Adames takes us to Eduardo Escobar. Bernie Brewer ready to ride the slide.
Well, Escobar, much better hitter off lefties. 295 with 9 homers this year compared to 238 from the left side. Hence the reason Christian Yelich got moved to the 5-hole and Escobar to this 3 spot.
0 for 2 so far in this one against Fried. Fouls it off to the right, out of play.
Did you notice he made a conscious effort right there of trying to shoot the ball to right field? And I think these Brewers hitters are understanding a little bit the whole pulling is getting them off balance.
Change and approach here, 3rd time through. And 0-1 to Escobar.
And you talked about that 3rd time through the lineup. Not a ton difference. Obviously a little bit more average-wise. But it's why it's still, he's so dynamic with those 3 pitches that he can go a 3rd time through the order.
Ball 2. Next pitch will be the 80th for Fried of his outing.
was about the moment yesterday that Charlie Morton kind of hit that snag with the home run. See if the Braves start to move a little bit in that bullpen with the 3-0 lead, even though Fried is pitching well.
Taps it foul and evens it count at 2-2.
I mean, I think that's the hard thing to do this time of year. You know, Brian Snitker, we talked to him today about Morton. He's like, look, if you bring in a guy out of the pen, he gives up a 2-run homer. I just took a guy out that absolutely dealt for 6 innings. You see Luke Jackson kind of knowing for Atlanta, this is a must-win game headed back home. That's where the managers have to make the tough decisions.
2-2 to Escobar. Got him. Elevates and strikes him out with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Strikeout number 9 for Fried. 3-0 Atlanta. You're watching the 2021 National League Division Series. It's presented by Good Sam. Back at America Family Field in Milwaukee, where Brandon Woodruff is done after 6 innings. He allows 3 runs, and Hunter Strickland, who's on his 3rd team of the year, comes into the game for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, had a good start with Tampa, then got traded to the Angels and had a kind of a rough time, got DFA'd there, and the Brewers scooped him up. Done a magnificent job here in Milwaukee. They're sitting a $165 off him. We wondered if his role would increase a little bit when Devin Williams went out.
Travis d'Arnaud to lead it off here for Atlanta in the 7th inning. First hitter that Hunter Strickland will face here. After Woodruff departs, Brandon Woodruff ended up throwing a total of 77. Actually, I take that back. He did not. He threw 6 innings, 5 hits, gave up 3 runs. He walked 1 and struck out 7.
He threw a good ball game and kept his team in the game. And Strickland, you see with the slider, 2-pitch guy, big fastball, mid-90s. And a put-away slider. And you kind of wondered where the Braves would go. Jock Peterson has got a bat over in the hole.
Woodruff ended up throwing 91 pitches in his outing. The 0-2. That's strike 3.
Well, if you want to know what 2 sliders does to you, 2 good sliders, it gets you thinking that. Strickland missed his spot, was trying to go above, but ended up throwing it right down the middle, and d'Arnaud couldn't pull the trigger.
First out of the 7th inning. Dansby Swanson, 0 for 2 in this game, is grounded to short, lined out to right. Yesterday we saw Jock Peterson come off the bench to pinch hit. He homered, supplying the only Atlanta run, an opposite field home run, and there he is on deck again here. Looks like he'll be pinch hitting for Max Fried.
Yeah, you wonder Fried, you know, his pitch count's not high.
81.
And he's been in complete command for 6 innings.
You a little surprised?
Yeah, just because he's been the workhorse, you know, as a stretch, but talk about having it set up for this Atlanta Braves team. The idea of Luke Jackson for the 7th, Matzik for the 8th, and Will Smith for the 9th. Kind of doing what Craig Counsell did yesterday, where he got Burns through 6 and then went Hauser for 2 and Hader. But to answer your question, yes, I am a little surprised.
Well, the hug from his catcher, Travis d'Arnaud. Two working together tremendously down the stretch and in their first postseason game. I don't know. I'm kind of a let it ride guy.
Yeah,
especially with Max Fried.
Yeah, you wonder, you felt like Brian Snitker might have let it ride a little bit yesterday and got burned with a 2-run homer. He's playing it the other way today.
1-2.
Think about it, Craig Counsell talking to him. I asked him the question this morning about Burns. If his spot wasn't up in the order, would you have pinch hit for him yesterday? And he said that was a conversation we were having. He said, but as a manager, sometimes you watch a guy and you get the feeling maybe he emptied the tank.
Yeah, they thought they were there.
And so, Rick Kranitz, pitching coach for the Braves, he's got a pretty good feel of his pitchers, and maybe that last inning, giving the double up to Adames and then having to come back and strike out Escobar, maybe he felt he had emptied the tank a little bit.
As you said, they do have it lined up for their 7, 8, 9 guys, which is what they do. And the benefit of a 3-0 advantage, too.
Well, and that's exactly the point. Maybe if this is a 1-0 ball game or something, it's a little different, but it's easy to second guess when you sit up here and you're watching on TV, but you get paid the money, those guys, to make the tough decisions, and that's what they're going with. I can tell you this, I guarantee this Milwaukee Brewers offense is probably a little bit excited about Max Fried getting out of this ball game.
They would like to face anybody else but Max Fried right now. And they're going to get that chance. 3-2 to Dansby Swanson. In the air to center field. Lorenzo Cain calling. Coming in and making the catch. The ball just got to push in, it seemed. 2 down. And here comes Jock Peterson. I mentioned the home run for Peterson coming off the bench to pinch hit. An opposite field home run for him.
And left Hauser in the game to face Jock Peterson with Jorge Soler on deck, and Jock hit it in the Brewers bullpen, went opposite field, and we talked about a lot of postseason experience. See that? Homered 6 straight postseasons. Pretty good company there with Derek Jeter, Bernie Williams, and Justin Turner. And that was his 10th postseason home run last night.
His career against Strickland 1 for 7, but the one part is a home run. For 7 years in the majors, spent with the Los Angeles Dodgers. A lot of postseason experience as a result. With the first move in realigning and making the deals to get a brand new outfield for the Braves. It was just a couple of days after the Ronald Acuna Jr. injury he was acquired. At the time they were 2 games under 500. Strike call, not sure it was.
Pitcher's pitch on the outside corner. Been off, definitely off the plate a little bit. Not a pitch you want to go on 1-0.
Ball and strike to the pinch hitter. And a grounder up the middle into center field. Jock Peterson with a base hit. Another pinch hit for him, and he's aboard with 2 down in the inning.
He's got that necklace still on. Maybe that's his good luck charm.
Yeah, that wasn't around the whole time he was in Atlanta, right? That was a late season.
Yeah, like a week left. Jock dyed the hair. Got the necklace full of pearls.
Terrence Gore is going to run.
Saw Jackie Bradley Jr. for the Brewers come out when Vogelbach reached yesterday, and Terrence Gore's on this roster for the Braves for one reason right here. Stealing bags, the threat of it.
2 outs, looking to get into scoring position to add on to this 3-0 advantage. Top of the order, Jorge Soler. Throw over, and Gord back to the bag.
Caught him leaning a little bit.
Well, tonight's base cam is presented by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage. Our score running at first base for Jock Peterson with 2 outs here in the 7th. Over there again. This time not as close. Or did not appear to be leaning this time. For his postseason career, 5 for 6 in stolen bases.
He was part of that Kansas City Royals run.
Sometimes the toughest stolen bases when everybody in the ballpark knows in a postseason game you're in there to steal a base.
So it makes you appreciate Dave Roberts' stolen base all those years ago.
Matt Weiner, you got more on Terrence Gore?
Yeah, Don, you'd be hard-pressed to find more of a specialist in Major League postseason history. Terrence Gore didn't play in the majors at all this season. He's on this roster just to do this. He won rings with the Royals and Dodgers, but over his career, 9 games in the postseason, he has more steals than at-bats. 5 steals, just 2 at-bats all time.
It's a good-sized lead over there. There he goes. High drive sent to left field. This will send Yelich back to the warning track at the wall, and in front of it he makes the catch. That'll end the inning. Gore got a great jump, but it doesn't matter. Soler flies out to the warning track. 7th inning stretch. 3-0 Atlanta. Game summary and what it's been a good one. Game 2 of the NLDS. Atlanta on top 3-0. Max Fried 6 shutout innings. Brandon Woodruff, he is touched for the 3 runs in his 6 innings. As we head to the bottom of the 7th inning and Fried is out of this game, but he was terrific. The new pitcher is going to be Luke Jackson out of the pen for the Braves.
We saw Luke work an inning yesterday. Got a hit and then a double play ball. Back in here today. Got to keep this score 3-0. Early in the season, the Braves bullpen really struggled. It was a weakness for that club, but since the deadline, they've gotten a lot better. They're 3rd with a 3.23 ERA, and I think that's why you're seeing Brian Snitker make that move down there. I think he's got a lot of trust in this pen. Like I said, if you're the Brewers, you're the hitters. You got 9 more outs against someone other than Max Fried.
Garcia with a big rip right there, finds himself down 0-2. Avisail Garcia struck out in the 2nd inning, single to center in the 4th. 1 for 2, gets his 3rd AB and his 1st against this pen. Swing and a miss, and Garcia strikes out. 1 down in the 7th. Let's check in with Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Thanks very much, Ernie.
It's amazing. Ernie, never does that except this year when George is finally 2 in the country. It's unbelievable. But congrats, Ernie.
1 out here in the 7th for Christian Yelich. Yelich a single to left field in the 2nd. He struck out looking in the 4th inning. But all that was against Max Fried. Luke
Jackson, one of the better sliders in baseball. Talked about it yesterday. Hitters hitting a $1.59 with 51 Ks against that pitch.
Tied for the most appearances on the team with 71. Used a ton, but heavily relied upon by Brian Snitker.
Man, lefties are hitting $1.96, and I think one of the most unbelievable stats, the last home run he's given up to a left-handed hitter, you go back all the way to 2019 with Max Muncy of the Dodgers.
Full count now. With one out here in the home half of the seventh. Luis Urias waits on deck right now for Milwaukee. They've been held to 3 hits all day. Yelich strikes out, back-to-back Ks for Luke Jackson, 2 down in the 7th inning. This is TBS Total Motion presented by Progressive.
Look at the depth of that slider on that pitch after going 2 fastballs up out of the zone. Come out with a sweeping strikeout pitch.
2 down in the 7th inning. Luis Urias against Fried. Lined out to short. Flat out to the warning track in right. 0-4-2. Now facing Luke Jackson with 2 outs in the 7th inning. Shift on Urias on the left side of the infield. With Ozzie Albies, second baseman, over there stacked up with Dansby Swanson and Austin Riley. Freddie Freeman on the right side, and you got Riley guarding that line at third base now.
Yeah,
Start to get later in the game.
Yeah, playing no doubles. Make sure you keep in front of your single. Urias, Craig Counsell's got a lot of confidence in him from the right side. Got better average and 16 of his 23 home runs right from the right side, or right-handed pitching.
Right back up the middle, may have gotten a piece of Jackson on the way through, but that ball was ripped. And into center, a 2-out base hit for Urias.
Ooh. It did get a piece of him.
Big piece. Still had so much on it when it got by him, I wasn't sure.
It clipped him right on that right leg as it went by. That's the second time Luke Jackson this series. Yesterday, he came in, if you remember, for Charlie Morton. I'm trying to remember who it was. Lined it, remember, right back over his head. Eduardo Escobar led off after that home run by Rowdy.
2 outs, Urias at first base, and it brings up Lorenzo Cain. Fly to left and grounded back to the mound. 0-4-2. Luke Jackson strikes out Garcia and Yelich, but Urias gets a base hit with 2 down.
And the right guy up for the Milwaukee Brewers, Lorenzo Cain, 3 for 4 career off Luke Jackson.
Cain had an injury-filled season. Strained right quad, strained left quad, strained hamstring. Head of the count, 2-0, with Manny Pena waiting on deck.
Yeah, hurt early, got back in late July, and since then he's been able to stay healthy and be very productive. Got a 2-0 count.
Make it 3-0. Packed house has wanted to erupt, but has not really had a chance today as they come to their feet. Taken all the way, and he takes ball 4, and just like that, the tying runs coming to the plate for the Brewers here in the 7th inning. Daniel Vogelback is going to be that guy. With Paul Pena back with 2 on and 2 down. And the tying run coming up. Matzik in the pen right now for Atlanta.
Well, Brian Snitker with Freddie Freeman leading off the top of the 8th has the opportunity if he wants to go to Matzik. But if you remember, Matzik had to work and throw a lot of pitches last night in that bottom of the 8th. And really the first chance for the Brewers to get back into this ball game, and Craig Counsell's taking his chance.
And here comes Brian Snitker. Vogelback introduced, started his way towards the plate, and in comes Snitker to make the change. Luke Jackson will be leaving. Matzik will be coming in. With the tying run at the plate for the Brewers here in the bottom of the 7th inning. They're making some noise in Milwaukee.
Presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Well, into this game is Tyler Matzik as Luke Jackson departs. Becomes the third arm used by Brian Snitker in this one.
Yeah, well, he's coming into these situations. He's been one of the best at baseball all year. Only 3 of 28 inherited runners have scored off Tyler Matzik. Had a lot of workload yesterday. You see Luke Jackson mow down the first 2 hitters, and Garcia and Yelich and gave up the base hit and the walk. And this is where you talk, though. You know, Max Fried, can he go another inning? I mean, it's so tough to figure out at different times what move to make, but this is where they've gone, and this is the first chance the Brewers really have had, that these fans have had to get back in the game.
Urias at second base, Kane at first base, and Tyrone Taylor is going to take over the pinch hitting duties. Daniel Vogelback called back. Here's Taylor.
Taylor, 316 as a pinch hitter, the best pinch hitter for the Brewers this year. 298 against lefties with 5 home runs.
Found his run of the game yesterday. Game 1, here he is in a key situation in game 2. Fouled straight back.
Well, it's always interesting to talk about numbers and how managers do different things. Matzik holding right-handed hitters to a 141 average compared to lefties who hit just under 240 against them. But Taylor, the top pinch hitter, just seeing Craig Counsell take that chance.
Urias at second, Kane at first. Tying run at the plate right now for the Brewers. Taylor fouls another one back. It's another fastball. He's had 2. This one at 97. And he's fouled them both back, and it's 0-2.
And Matzik's not going to shy away from that fastball. You see the most comeback wins in the National League this year.
The Counsell's been here before.
Pat Murphy is bench coach, going over what to do next.
This is the first time in this game the Brewers have had 2 men on. 0-2 pitch. That is strike 3. No, it's a ball. The Braves were leaving the field. Mike Malinsky says not so fast.
Slider from Matzik. Pretty good.
Oh,
pitch.
boy.
And you can see why Brian Snicker and Darno are.
Yeah.
Here's a good look.
They were headed to the dugout with strike 3.
It looked like the way he was leaning back, he was going to call it.
You know, where Darno had to kind of reach for that, may have cost him.
Yeah.
Taylor will strike out in the end anyway. And Matzik out of a major jam in the 7th inning. The Brewers strand 2. It's 3-0 Atlanta as we go to the 8th. The 2021 National League Division Series on TBS is presented by Good Sam. New catcher Luke Maile takes over behind the dish. And the new pitcher is Aaron Ashby, who takes over on the hill right now for the Brewers as we move to the 8th inning.
Yeah, with a lefty hard fastball, you see that 97, and one of the best sliders in baseball. Hitter's hitting 77 against it with 24 Ks and a 42% whiff rate. And there it is.
Go! Number 8 prospect in the Brewers organization, according to MLB.com, coming into the season. And dealing with Freddie Freeman to begin things here in the 8th. Wasn't that long ago that he was the Brewers minor league pitcher of the year, which was 2019. Of course, there were no minor leagues in 2020.
And which is, you kept talking all year how you wonder that would affect some of these young guys.
A full year of development lost for a lot of guys.
Yep.
Freddie Freeman, Ozzie Albies, and Austin Riley expected here in the 8th inning. With the Braves holding on to their 3-0 advantage. It was made some noise in the bottom of the 7th as Freddie Freeman strikes out.
Well, the big strikeout for Tyler Matzik to end the bottom of the 7th against Tyrone Taylor. Starts him off, gives him 2 heaters, comes right at him. And then this slider that everybody thought was strike 3. But then he comes back with a back foot one here to get the biggest strikeout of the game and keep this game at 3-0.
One out for Ozzie Albies.
I think a big thing to keep an eye on too is when you got it lined up 7, 8, 9. Now Matzik had to come in the 7th inning, and yes, he's going to go back out there for the 8th. But you know, what kind of different guy are you getting? I think that's a big question.
You mentioned the work that he had to do yesterday in game 1.
Yeah, threw 20+ pitches yesterday in the bottom of the 8th. But Brian Snicker told us before the game, I rode those guys hard the last 8 weeks of the season. So the 4 days they got before this and the off day tomorrow is more rest than they've got all year.
And while the Braves have Will Smith at the end of their games, of course, the Brewers, we saw Hader come in and nail it down for the Brewers in game 1. Will Smith had kind of a tough ending to the year for the Braves and not as lights out certainly as Hader.
Well, we'll tell you this year, Will Smith, that he's a lot more traffic in certain games, but still has found a way to get it done, but definitely not what you.
To short, and it's Adames to his left. Throw is high, but Escobar goes up to get it. 2 down. Well, predict which players will stack the most total bases each day during the postseason and compete to win $20,000. Enter MLB Base Chase presented by Michelob Ultra at MLB.com/Base Chase. See official rules for details. 2 down in the 8th. And here is Austin Riley, who hit a long home run in the 6th inning, a solo shot. After 33 during the regular season, his first of the post. And he takes strike 1.
Well, I'll tell you what, so far Ashby's come in and he is pounding that strike zone, that big slider you just saw. And of course, 97, 98 with the fastball.
On the ground into the shift, it is Wong who goes up into the air, throw off the mark. Escobar doesn't get him. He thought he did. We'll see if there's a challenge. They want him to challenge. Came off the bag to retrieve the throw. Thought he slapped the tag on him on the way by. But the first base umpire, Alfonso Marquez, calls him safe. What a play by Wong. Up into the air to make that throw. We'll see the tag.
From that angle, you can't really tell. Let's take a look here.
Get him on the shirt. Might be tough to overturn.
That's the whole question.
I mean, the on the field call is safe. Not seeing a lot that is conclusive to overturn that. The crowd thinks so.
Of course.
But again, we're in Milwaukee.
It's so close. You're looking for any piece of his batting glove, something to move.
And that batting glove is the extension of his equipment, yes?
Yeah.
It almost looks like it moves, but I'm just not sure if it moves because he's running or because it was tagged.
Well, the whole thing, like you say, is you know, how clear and convincing is it?
Not very.
It's just tough to tell. From that angle right there, you make. Did he get him? Yeah, but then, like I said, then you look at these other ones, you're like, eh.
Is taking some time, but they have come to a decision, and he is safe. Call stands on the field.
You know, Colt Wong made a heck of a play here. Wondering if he had a lot more time to actually maybe plant his feet and just throw it over. You think he did. See where Riley is at this point. You felt like he could have planted. Like I said, he might have got him, but at the end of the day, you just don't know.
So ruled a base hit with 2 down. That gives Adam Duvall a chance. 0 for 3 day today for the Braves center fielder.
Adam Duvall, a reverse split guy, 245 against righties, only 178 against left-handed pitching.
In the dirt and knocked down by Maley. Nicely done. Able to keep it in front of him. No advance at first base for Riley.
Yeah, heck of a job for coming off the bench. Cold catching. Got enough just to keep it in front of him. Keep Riley at first base.
2 outs. Riley at first here for the Braves in the 8th. Aaron Ashby. Third arm used by Craig Counsell in this game. All the runs the Braves have charged to Woodruff, the starter, as the fastball misses high. Eddie Rosario on deck for Atlanta. Ball 4. So 2 outs, the infield hit, and now a walk. Has 2 on with 2 down. And here comes Chris Hook, the pitching coach. Nobody in the bullpen right now.
And he just walked him on 4, but before that, he's been in the zone, throwing the ball well, so I'm sure this is more than anything calming him down. Still a 3-0 game, but you allow one more big hit, could put this game out of reach.
You got Eddie Rosario coming up next. The bunt single in the second inning, a 1-for-3 day. He's coming up with 2 on and 2 down here in the 8th inning. It is getting late. Riley at second base, Duvall at first, 2 outs in the Braves 8th inning.
See how they decide to attack Rosario. Ashby with that great slider. Rosario, though, 287 hitter off the breaking stuff.
Popped up, foul ground over is Urias, and he makes the play. Over by the Braves dugout, Urias makes the catch that ends the top of the 8th inning. Braves will strand a pair on a nice play by Urias. 3-0 Atlanta. Base Cam is presented by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage. A lot more action on the bases in tonight's game 2.
Yeah, a few more runners for sure than we had yesterday.
Tyler Matzik back on the mound. Pinch hitter is Jace Peterson, and he'll take a pitch. Ball 1.
Sorry, Don. Jace was one of the best pinch hitters in baseball this year. Sees a lot of pitches.
Takes the strike, and it evens at 1-1. Important part of this bench with Milwaukee Brewers, nicknamed On Base Jace in the middle portion of the year.
It's a good thing.
With every position except catcher and shortstop this year. And pinch hitting in the postseason like he did a lot during the regular season. And the former Atlanta Brave, 2015 through 2017.
Yep. He's done a good job, and I think something to keep an eye on again is Matzik coming back out for the 8th inning. He's done it, numerous times, but do it in the postseason after throwing a lot of pitches last night. Something to keep an eye on to see is Christmas.
High for ball 3. Peterson, Wong, and Adames scheduled to bat in the inning. Anybody gets on, Escobar may have a chance for Craig Counsell. Ball 4. And Jace is on base.
You noticed every fastball missed up.
Comes Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach for the Braves, with Colton Wong coming up. All right, Snicker was talking a little bit about Rick Kranitz before the game, and he thinks that he makes fewer visits to the mound than pretty much any other pitching coach in Major League Baseball. Just doesn't go out there a lot. Doesn't need to. He said they prepare so well before the games that they don't have to go out there with scouting reports as much as some of the others.
Well, I think, I'm sure like any pitching coach, it's knowing which guy's out there. If he needs a breather, I think more than anything, that's him just giving him a chance to, hey, you're all right. You got the 3-0 lead. But there's something like you saw Peralta down in the pen yesterday. Huascar Ynoa, who's been a starter for the Braves all year, down in the pen warming up.
Closer Will Smith.
Yeah, you start. I mean, look, you got the closer sitting there on the left, but you're asking a lot for 6 outs in a game like this.
Colton Wong. Strike one. Wong has flied out to center, popped out to short, struck out swinging. Matzek got the last out of the 7th, looking for his first out of the 8th. Fouled off to the left, out of play.
You got Willie Adames looming on deck, one of the best late close situations hitters in all of baseball, hitting .410 with a 1145 OPS this year. You know he's dying for an opportunity.
To right field, flared. Soler coming in, not going to get there. Falls in for a base hit. Brewers have runners at first and second with nobody out in the 8th.
Well, Tyler Matzek made the pitch he wanted. He ran a 2-seamer way in on Wong. I mean, you see, blew up his bat, but found the right spot. Right between Ozzie Albies and Soler in right field.
The Brewers had 2 on, but it was with 2 outs in the 7th. They have 2 on with nobody out in the 8th. Willie Adames has turned their season around, has a chance to turn this game around. Strike one. To the curveball to get it. Adames has struck out twice. Last time up, doubled to right. 1 of 5 Milwaukee hits as they play him basically straight up in the infield. A little bit the other way in the outfield.
Well, Adames saw Matzek last night. Got a single in game 1 against him. It's another thing. You start seeing some of these bullpen guys a few times. You get a look at them.
Tying run at the plate with nobody out. Popped up foul. And it's 1-2.
Got a good fastball right there. Maybe just enough up that he couldn't get on top of it. But puts the count back in Matzek's favor. 1-2.
They are up in Milwaukee again. Swing and a miss. Adames strikes out. Went to the gas that time, and it's by him for the first out of the 8th inning.
Wow, what a job by Tyler Matzek. Starts off with the slider for a strike. Good job by Adames taking that, and then just comes with the heat. Close that one in. That one at 98 reaches back. We talked about Adames, one of the best clutch hitters in baseball. Matzek gets a huge strikeout.
First and second with 1 out. Eduardo Escobar. As Adames has struck out for the 3rd time today. Escobar is 0 for 3. Counted to short, struck out twice. Against Matzek, 1 for 4, but the one part is good. It's a home run. May have gone around. He did. Changed his mind in the middle. Could not hold up.
Started him off with that slider. And it just went around.
Escobar 9 home runs off left-handed pitchers this year. Not have a postseason home run in his career. His time is called. Peterson at second, Wong at first, 1 out in the Brewers' 8th inning. Strike 2.
Another good slider. Definitely a stronger side for Escobar from this side. But Brian Snitker left with, do I bring my closer in right now or a guy that hasn't come out of the pen all year in Inoa? And right now he's sticking with the guy that's done the most work for him out of the pen this year in Tyler Matzik.
Oh, 2 to Escobar.
Three sliders in a row. See if he sticks with that, tries to back foot it, or even a fastball out of the zone, something to change his eye level, possibly.
Foul back. Do it again. Chase Peterson pinch hit to begin the inning. He walked along with a single to right field. First 2 reached. Willie Adames strikes out. 2 on, 1 away. Tying run at the plate for the Milwaukee Brewers. Oh, 2 from Matzik. Escobar to right field. Soler is there, and he makes the catch. Tagging at second, heading for third is Peterson. The throw will go to second, and he is easily to third. But now with 2 down in the inning.
Boy, heavy sliders to Escobar. That AB saw 5 pitches, 4 sliders, and this one got him out in front to a lazy fly ball to Soler. I think something to keep an eye on now. You got Garcia up, an aggressive hitter. See if Matzik goes to that slider first pitch or if he challenges him.
If Tyler Matzik is able to get out of this inning unscathed, boy, Brian Snitker got to be very thankful for the job he's done.
Yeah, you can say that. After working so hard yesterday's game in the 8th, now here he is again.
First and third, 2 down. Abisail Garcia. Ball 1. During the regular season, Garcia had 2 game-tying home runs in the 7th inning or later. So a flair for the dramatic in the past. Can he do it in the postseason?
Talked about career high 29 home runs for him this year.
Foul back. Got a fastball right down the middle. That was center cut.
He got a good pitch to hit. Got it right back to the screen. And between last inning and then to start this inning, Matzik now at 23 pitches, and every single one of them has been high stress.
First and third with 2 down. 1-1 to Garcia. In the air foul. Off to the right, and he's down 1-2.
It's funny how he's going after different guys. Escobar, 4 out of 5 sliders. Now with Garcia.
Heavy fastball.
Doesn't want to speed his bat up apparently right now. He's come right at him with 3 heaters. Still good velocity on the fastball.
The last one at 97. Second straight inning, the Brewers have had the tying run come to the plate. Fouled straight back. 97 again.
We saw d'Arnaud set up in. Wanted that fastball in. Probably the good call. He left that one out over the plate again. And tell you what, I wouldn't leave too many to Garcia in that area. But they continue to come with that high velocity to him.
Peterson at third, Wong at first, 2 down in the Brewers' 8th inning. And this epic battle continues between Matzik and Garcia. Struck him out, and Garcia goes down by way of the K. Leaving 2 of the Brewers in the 8th. We'll move to the 9th in Game 2 of the NLDS, with the Braves holding on to a 3-0 lead. Nothing in this game as the Braves holding on to this 3-0 advantage, and Brad Boxberger checks in for the Brewers.
Yeah, nice prize for the Milwaukee Brewers this year. Signed as a non-roster, got released at the end of spring training, signed back with them, and now he's had quite the year out of the bullpen for the Brewers. Got a good fastball. Hitters hitting 181 with 62 Ks, and a reverse split, another type guy. Lefties are only hitting $139 off him.
Travis d'Arnaud leads it off and takes ball 1. How about the job by Tyler Matzik as Chase Peterson stays in this game after he pinch hit, takes over in right field. Obviously, Yo Garcia coming out. But Matzik, terrific.
I would say he has earned himself a cold drink tonight, whatever choice.
d'Arnaud 0 for 3, struck out 3 times in this game. Boxberger is pitcher number 4, used by Milwaukee.
Another guy that's worked a lot this year. 71 appearances for him during the regular season, a career high. Struggled a little bit late in the year. We wonder if sometimes, like we've talked about after a short season last year, if you get a little bit tired. 71 appearances.
That's a lot.
Yep.
Tied his career high for innings pitched, 64 2/3. He's tied with his 2014 work with the Tampa Bay Rays. That's strike 3. 4th time d'Arnaud has struck out in this game.
Yeah, and second time looking. That time another fastball that he got caught going down on.
1 out in the 9th inning. Dansby Swanson, an 0 for 3 showing for the Braves shortstop. And pretty much straight up in the infield and pretty close to straight up in the outfield. Strike 1. Orlando Arcia has come out on deck. The pinch hit in the pitcher's spot for Atlanta here in the 9th inning. And did he go? He did not. Alonso Marquez says he did not.
I don't think Craig Counsell likes that call one
Nope.
bit.
He's got a real good view from where he is standing. Yeah, I could see that.
I can understand why he's not happy.
Strike two. All the runs the Braves have charged to the Brewers starter. Brandon Woodruff, who in 6 innings was charged with 3 runs on 5 hits, walked 1, struck out 7. Through 91 pitches in his 6-inning effort. One of those runs, a home run by Riley.
I thought Woodruff threw a good ball game. Just ran into Soler, Freeman, Albies there in the 3rd inning. We're able to get 2 runs on the board, and then of course Riley, that deep drive to right center.
Early on the hook in this one at the moment. Full count now with 1 out here in the 9th inning. There's Arcia, who has come out on deck.
Former Brewer, talking to some Brewers fans.
Yep. Popped up. Coming from first is Escobar. We're out number 2 of the 9th. Well, don't forget, coming up next, Dodgers and Giants game 2 of the NLDS on TBS starting at 9 p.m. We're on the ESPN radio call. Full schedule is available at MLB.com.
I know we watched a little bit, Don, last night. Logan Webb was outstanding out there in his first postseason start. Should be a good game tonight.
Against a tremendous offense for the LA Dodgers. Just shut them down.
Yeah.
So 2 down in the 9th inning. Garcia hitting under 200 during the regular season at 198. And the recipient of strike 1. Woodruff went 6, Strickland an inning, Ashby an inning. And Boxberger here has 2 outs in the 9th. Mentioned the slump for Boxberger in September. 10.38 ERA.
Good take on that change up. So how good the starting pitching's been in this series. All 4 starters going at least 6 innings.
It's unheard of today.
Yeah, in this day and age.
Yeah. Unless postseason.
Exactly.
See it fouls it off, and it evens at 2-2. 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Yelich, Urias, and Kane. It's out to be 5, 6, and 7. Will be coming up for the Brewers in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Facing the former Brewer, Will Smith, who really kind of got his career going here in Milwaukee.
Full count. The 4-seam fastball has been around 94 miles an hour. Out of the hand of the veteran Brad Boxberger. Payoff pitch. And that's ball 4. A 2-out walk for Arcia. So the inning continues, and it flips over the order. Jorge Soler coming up. double back in the 3rd inning and scored a run.
And just missed a home run in the 7th. Off Strickland, took Yelich all the way to the bullpen in left center.
Check swing foul into the dugout for the Brewers on the first base side. Soler has not faced Boxberger in his career. Boxberger able to strike out d'Arnaud. Swanson will pop out to first, but he walks Arcia, the pinch hitter. Now an 0-1 pitch. Make it 0-2.
Soler got a pretty good pitch to hit there. Off speed pitch up in the zone, but fouled it right back.
Soler out ahead of this and hits it a ton. All the way up to the upper deck.
Those fans didn't think they were going to get a ball when they got those tickets.
That's where Bob Uecker normally sits.
113.8 off the bat.
Just a little bit out ahead.
Yep. It's a big, strong man up at the plate.
Look out. Down he goes.
Two-seamer that just got away from Boxberger.
Popped up, foul ground. Eduardo Escobar over by the stands, leaning, won't have a play.
It was trying to come back, but too far for Escobar to get. He threw the fastball to Soler away. I thought for sure he was coming with an off-speed pitch after throwing one right over his head.
Two pitches so far for Boxberger coming in here. There's 2 outs in the 9th inning. Head of Soler, 1-2. Popped up in the infield. Wong coming in from second, and behind the mound, he'll make the catch. We are going to the bottom of the 9th inning. Will Smith is coming into this game. Yelich, Urias, and Kane will be coming up. We come back to Milwaukee. Guillermo Heredia has taken over in center field defensively for the Braves. Moving from center to right is Duvall. And Jorge Soler comes out of the game. Into the game, the closer for the Braves, Will Smith.
0 saves in the postseason for Will. 2-2 with a 3.68. 37 of 43 on the year. 87 Ks. And his pitch, the slider. Hitter's hitting a $124 with 54 Ks. And this has not been a friendly matchup for Will Smith, Don, in his career. Christian Yelich 6 for 8 with a home run.
Quite sure both are aware. In this game, Yelich 1 for 3, a single in the 2nd inning. Now.
And that's the pitch, the fastball that Will Smith late in the year started to try to throw a little bit more of to get hitters off that slider of his.
1-2. And with that, Austin Riley, the third baseman, goes running towards short right field as they'll go into a shift now. That second strike. Here are the numbers with a home run mixed in. 2-2. With all baseball and games finished with 60 this year, Will Smith, 37 saves, third most in the National League. The former Brewer. He's looking for his first postseason save of his career.
And the last thing you want to do, even though Yelich has good numbers, is walk the first batter. If you're Will Smith, you want to make sure he earns his way on.
Foul back. Fastball just above the strike zone. Luis Urias waiting on deck. Nobody out. Last of the ninth. Brewers brought the tying run to the plate in the seventh. They did it again in the eighth. Still have not pushed across a run. He walks him. Yelich aboard to begin the bottom of the ninth inning for Milwaukee. Wonder how much the past history played into how he dealt with it.
Well, he got ahead of him and had him and threw two pitches. Really didn't get Yelich to go after, and then see the side from Brian Snitker and Rick Kranitz. For as easy as the first 6 innings were for them to sit there and watch Max Fried be in complete control and dominate, Brewers in the 7th and 8th had a couple guys on and a chance, and now the leadoff hitter in the 9th.
Luis Urias 1 for 3 in this game. Strike one. The entire right side is wide open. They shift on him in the infield on the left side, and with Freeman holding on, Yelich at first, he's got that whole right side.
And this is where you think, you know, if there's ever a time if you can manipulate a bat, I mean, a 16 chopper gets through.
He went around, couldn't hold up. 0-2.
Started him off with a curveball and then came back with a slider on that pitch. Got a emergency swing.
The leadoff walk for Yelich, second straight inning. The Brewers have been handed a leadoff walk. Couldn't make anything with it in the 8th. Broken bat, looper to left. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Yelich to second, and again the Brewers for the 3rd straight inning will bring the tying run to the plate, and this time it's with nobody out in the 9th.
And you see, breaks his bat, but on an 0-2 pitch got too much of the plate and allowed him to put the ball in play.
Two on, nobody out. Lorenzo Cain has flied to left, grounded back to the mound and walked. To right field, Duvall moving over towards the line will make the catch for out number 1. Fires back in. And there's one out in the 9th. As Cain cannot move the runners along.
It goes with that slow curveball first pitch. Cain kind of jams himself. second straight inning now. The Brewers have had first and second, nobody on. This has kind of been Will Smith's MO all year. Don, let some guys on, Ben, but don't break.
There's been traffic.
Yes.
With Maley batting for the first time. First postseason plate appearance. On the ground at third base. Riley will go to second for one. On to first. That's the ball game. Around the horn they go on the 5-4-3 DP. And the Atlanta Braves were able to shut out the Milwaukee Brewers in game 2 of the NLDS. After the first two reached with nobody out in the ninth, Will Smith gets Kane to fly out and Maley into the 5-4-3 DP.
On 2 pitches.
Unbelievable.
First postseason at bat, throw that off speed pitch. Braves, one of the best infield defenses all in baseball. They had to sweat this one out, though, the last 3 innings.
So this series is now tied 1-1. Brewers get game 1. The Braves come into Milwaukee and they get game 2. And now they are headed to Atlanta with both sides with 1 win.
Well, we saw the pitching matchups coming in here, and you figure there's runs were going to be at a premium, and that's what's happened. 6 runs total in 2 games. Great starting pitching, and these teams go back to Atlanta even up.
Max Fried goes 6 shutout innings. He'll come away with the win after 14 during the regular season. His first, obviously, of the postseason. And the save for Will Smith. There was some drama, but in the end, Braves able to hold on and win this one, a final of 3-0. And we have seen some spectacular starting pitching in this series so far, both sides.
Yeah, and Max Fried was a story today for the Braves. 6 innings, 3 hits, no walks, and 9 strikeouts. And, you know, Max was in complete control.
Let's send it down to Matt Weiner.
6 scoreless innings, 9 strikeouts. Max impact, you might say, for Max Fried in this game 2. Your out pitches, 7 on the fastball, 6 on the slider, 3 on the curve, 2 on the sinker. You threw everything at them. How good was your command?
I felt like I was able to use all my pitches today, and I was working really well with Travis. Travis was someone that I was really leaning on, and you know, just kind of being able to talk back and forth in the dugout, and you know, it's a really good team over there. So just wanted to try to stay on top and keep them off balance.
And a continuation of this second half of the season. Why have you been so good the last, 4 months of the season?
Just going out there trying to win games. Not trying to overthink anything, just trying to make one pitch at a time, and just trying to stack those on top of each other.
You knew the offense would kick in sooner or later. How welcome a sight was it to see the top of your order get things going in the third?
Oh, it's awesome. You know, these guys it was about time before, you know, just rattled off a few, being able to pass it off to the next guy. So, you know, obviously going to enjoy this one, get ready to get back and get back to work in Atlanta.
Nice job. Congrats. We'll talk to you in Atlanta.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, Don.
All right, Matt, thanks very much. And a win for the Atlanta Braves. They win this one 3-0. And really, it is Max Fried. You think about this game, and we were wondering whether or not he was coming out a little early in this game. But as it turned out, the Braves bullpen got the job done.
Well, Brian Snitker and that crew had to kind of sweat it out for 9 outs in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. But Matt Weiner just talked to him. He was outstanding today. Great pitching. And look, moving ahead to game 3, we think Peralta, Anderson, another great pitching matchup. So by far, so far, the pitchers have dominated this series.
Well, the Braves are now headed home after they grabbed game 2 of this NLDS. Our final score, the Braves 3, the Brewers nothing. Series tied 1-1. Join us Monday for game 3 between the Braves and the Brewers. For Jeff Francoeur, Matt Weiner, and the rest of our crew, I'm Don Orsillo saying goodbye from Milwaukee. Coming up next on TBS, Dodgers and Giants NLDS Game 2. You've been watching the MLB postseason on TBS.
The MLB postseason on TBS is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet?